Welcome to the Wolverine Academy. If you ever wondered, how did that grab not hit? I swear I went right through him. Or, I grabbed the enemy tank, why didn't he die? What is my team doing? Or, I'm just not getting healing, why am I just dying off cooldown? I'm here to clear up a couple things for you, and hopefully get you a little more success in your game. I've played Wolverine up to eternity, and I'm feeling pretty good on him. I love the character, I think you'll love him too. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to read off every ability of his, because you know his abilities. You guys have played Wolverine once or twice. You know he has a grab, you know he has a dash. We don't need to waste your time here. I will put up the key and the descriptive values of all the abilities right now. You can rewind the video or pause it, and this information isn't necessarily needed, but it is nice to know exactly what you're doing and what you can do. For example, knowing you have a 40% damage resistance is good, but at the same time, it's not really going to change the fact that you're going to use it the same, even if it was 50% damage resistance. I mean, the usage of the ability doesn't really change. It's just your understanding of how much the ability is actually doing is confirmed a little bit more. Let's get into the first and foremost, if a Hela's value is dictated by how many shots she can hit, a Wolverine's 1 to 100 value scale relies on his grab. You need to be hitting grabs constantly, consistently, or Wolverine just won't work for you. How do we do this? Because sometimes that shit doesn't hit him, right? I mean, you've done it. You went to grab him and you go right through him. It's actually really easy to understand once you understand it. Think of the grab as an AoE ability, not as a dash. Weird, but stay with me. You can actually grab people when you're behind them, or they're behind you, or if you're to the left of them or to the right of them. It's actually very generous because it's kind of like a circle around Wolverine himself. So as long as your character's basically hugging him, doesn't really matter how you're touching him, you're always going to hit it. But so what you want to do is you want to do your right click right into them every single time. You are never going to throw out a shift if you don't have your right click, and then just press shift. I guarantee you, if you shift on top of them, you're going to hit it. Now, so we figured out how the hitbox works, how to hit our grabs, but now how do we hit our grabs? You know, the enemy's looking at us, they're stopping us, they're bubbling, they're flying away. There's a lot of ways to not get grabbed. So how do we still hit our grab? Well, if I run straight at you, you know I'm about to grab you. Come on, let's use our common sense. If you see a Wolverine, you know he's coming for your ass, so you're gonna run. But that's if he sees you. One of the best ways to grab the tank is to come where the tank isn't looking. Perhaps jumping from above and grabbing him, perhaps coming behind him and grabbing him, perhaps just going left when he looks right. I mean, a lot of it is just not allowing him to just look at you, because when his attention is on you, it is much, 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 much harder to actually do your job. Think about it, how it's easier to hit someone when you're aiming when they're not looking at you, because they're not actively trying to dodge you. It's kind of the same principle. So, we've kind of discussed the hitbox, how we come from unexpected angles. How are you using this grab? Because some Wolverines just hit it and then turn off their monitors. You can turn a lot in your grab. You have a lot of control after you grab him. One of the things I love to do is grab the enemy tank and fly him around corners, because then he's super isolated, super easy to kill. The thing is, Wolverines will grab the enemy tank and bring them into their team, the enemy team, and they won't die because, of course, you're bringing the enemy tank in his own team. That doesn't make any sense. So making sure you're hitting good grabs and controlling said grabs are very, very, very important. So, we're controlling them now. What's the next step, right? Well, we don't necessarily have to go back in after we've killed the tank. Low-key, a big problem with Wolverine players is they'll go in after their grab, after they get a kill, and then lose their passive and die. That's just not wise. I'm gonna be honest. Wolverine is what I like to call a savant character. He is very, very, very good at one thing, and that's killing tanks, but he is ass at absolutely everything else. So honestly, I would say low-key, let your team just kind of kill the enemy. I mean, you can be there, of course, and help a little bit, but you do not want to lose your passive, especially when you've kind of already won the fight. If the enemy doesn't have a tank, there is very low chances they're actually going to win the fight. And that's one of the things that branches into nicely here. what is the difference between an okay Wolverine player and an Eternity Wolverine player? Low-key, it's just your passive. Way too many Wolverine players treat their passive as like this just AFK second HP that they don't even think about. I will jump off the map if I think I'm about to lose my passive, my second life, because when I have my passive, I can just play like a dumbass because I know there's nothing that can kill me, and I have this like second phase. But once you lose your second phase, it's so much easier to kill you. And that's one thing we kind of got to remember, that like you're making the game harder on yourself by not thinking about your passive. So you have to think more, you know, once you lose it. And I don't like to think that much. So, you know, let's not lose our passives. Let's get our kill and get out of there. Let's not just stick around to lose our passive for no reason. So, you know, we did that. And then by now you actually probably have a lot of ult charge, right? You know, you've grabbed the tank, killed him a couple times. Wolverine gets his ult very quickly. What do we do with our ultimate? It's a little finicky, I won't lie. The problem is the way Wolverine ult works is it's in two phases. First, there's the lift up and then the slam down. Like the basic idea of Wolverine ult is lift the tank up and slap him into the supports. Sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes it works fantastic. And sometimes you whiff your ult. Like you just fly right past him and you're like, wait, why didn't my ult work? The reason for this is because Wolverine ult works kind of peculiar. Like the second part of the ult, the slam down, basically works with like Wolverine's hitbox hitting their hitbox. So if you try and slam down to the left or right of them too far, Wolverine will actually like fly past their hitboxes and they will not get hit. So you need to aim for like the biggest dude, and it does kind of suck everybody else though in once you hit him. So basically just make sure you're aiming at the enemy. Oftentimes that just looks like wherever you ult, you basically have to ult in that same direction. You know, you can't really turn hard left or right, and especially not behind you. Also, friendly reminder, your ultimate does scale based off your rage, and it does like double the damage when you're at 100% rage. So you should not be ulting below 60 rage. I would say like once you're at like 65, 70, perfect, you're golden, rip the ult whenever you want. And that's basically all you need to know about Wolverine. You know, we discussed like the mechanics of the grab, the hitboxes of it, how you're kind of going to walk up to the tank to hit the grab. Like generally, I mean that the grab is like 90% of Wolverine, to be straight with you. Hitting your ultimate, also very important since ults are just that strong in this game. And once you get your passive down, I think you'll just do really well on Wolverine. I hope this was helpful, and I do like to stream on Twitch every now and then. So if you can, pop by and say what's up.